could make fun of people in my comic, and like I wouldn't get beat up. They'd just be happy to be in the comic. So I figure if I could do this for the rest of my life, then it would be okay. So I just continued to do it. I did it for my high school newspaper in Boston, well, just outside of Boston, and then my college newspaper in Salem, Massachusetts. I graduated school, jumped in the car, drove up to San Francisco, and learned all about underground cartooning and taking on politics, issues of race, just all this different stuff. And it really grew from there. And that's when I first got into my first alternative weekly paper, which was the SF Weekly, and it grew from there. Started getting into papers in Marin, and then papers in other states, and then internationally. So it grew from there. And now I have 3 different comic strips, the K Chronicles, which is weekly, Think, which is my single panel, more news and editorial strip, and then I do a daily called The Nightlife, which is like the K Chronicles, but whereas the K Chronicles is alternative weekly, the Nightlife is daily in mainstream newspapers. So it's like the K Chronicles is the indie cable movie, and then the Nightlife is the network sitcom version of it. So that's my story.
Great, thank you very, very much.
Darren, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started, or where you're from.
Well, I'm from LA originally. I was a kid during the years when busing was like this big controversial issue. They would bus minority kids to like rich schools, and they try to bus rich kids to minority schools, but that part usually didn't work out. So I was pretty much the only like minority kid in any of the classes I was in, and I was the only poor kid. So like I'd be invited to birthday parties, and you know I couldn't afford the same kind of gifts. I couldn't bring little motorcycles for my friends or anything, but I had some talent. So what I could do was I could draw them, and I could draw cartoons about them, and so I would bring that, and I was accepted for that, and I never forgot about that. When I got to college, I asked, how do I become rich, basically, and the counselor that I spoke with said, well, who do you admire who's rich? And I said, well, that guy on TV, Pat Buchanan, he looks happy. He's always got 3-piece suits and this huge smile on his face, and I don't really pay attention to what he's talking about, but he's happy. I want to be like him. So they said, well, become a journalist, and then from there you become a columnist, and you get invited on TV. So I said, okay, I'll be a talking head. And I started off as a journalist for the school paper. I interviewed the governor for an article, I interviewed a senator, and I asked my friends, so what do you think of my article? And none of them had read it. But at the same time, I had dropped off a stack of cartoons at the newspaper and said, if you ever have any holes in the paper, just put these in and make sure you give me credit. So my friends would say, I didn't read the article, but did you draw that cartoon? That cartoon was cool. So I figured maybe that's what I should be doing. So I set out to get published in a real newspaper. What I did was I faxed a cartoon every day to the LA Times, to the opinion page, for a year. And finally they called me and they said, would you please stop faxing this cartoon? We're running out of paper. And they said, but we like your cartoons. How about we give you assignments, like we'll send you an article every week, and you draw a cartoon to go with it. So I did that, and from there I built up a little body of work, and I started sending it out to other papers like the Chronicle, Oakland Tribune, and they started running them. And after a few years, I was a professional cartoonist. I was still in college, and I wasn't doing great as a student. I would tell people that they would ask what I'm majoring in, and I would say I'm majoring in cartooning and minoring in college. It was absolutely true. It took me 6 years to finish, but that's how I got to be where I am.
Thank you very much. We need to segue back into the technical part right now.